Mob in the building. You already know what it is with me, man. It's Diddy Combs. And you already know I did him wrong. Oh, who you talking to? Who you putting your hands around? We think it's sweet? Well, go don't get your face right. Shut! Strapping down. Go ahead on, lay it down, and let me go ahead on and put it down. You already know what it is with me, dolphin mouth. I want to talk about the bang, man. We want to talk about the Big Bang Theory, nigga. Straight up and down, nigga. You already see it's charting, nigga. You already know it's streaming and it's trending, nigga. Straight and down. We here to talk about the album, and we here to talk about him getting up on Maine Music case, man, about the paperclip. Straight up and down. We here to talk about it, man. Now you see what it is, man. You know, as usual, man. You know, putting out a solid project. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple of tracks, you know what I'm saying, that, like I said, you know, it had me thinking. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? We don't get into no street stuff. But what we want to talk about before we get into that is him actually getting up on, you know, Main Music case, as far as, you know, him having a paper clip up on this chain. And, you know what I mean, actually, you know, going up on a rampage about this chain in the first place, man. You know what I'm saying? Before we even get into, you know what I'm saying, the Big Bang Theory, nigga, straight up, nigga, because the theory about knowing whether Main Music, you know what I'm saying, chain was real. You know what I'm saying? The way Fredo was talking, you know what I'm saying? Now, he been out here doing shows and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, snapping on fans and the whole nine from Arkansas, man, that be complaining. You know what I mean? So he been dealing with a lot lately, you know what I'm saying, as far as his performances. You know what I mean? He performing all in the storm, you know what I'm saying? Fredo, he just didn't have a care, you know what I'm saying, these past couple of weeks. You see what I'm saying? He been on his own type time, you know what I'm saying? So obviously, Main Music woke up, you know what I'm saying, something in him. Now, Mr. Kane and Main Music, like I said, was, you know, locked up together, and him and Fredo Bang went live. And you know what I'm saying? He's saying that, you know, he wasn't gonna beef with Main Music. He not beefing with, you know what I'm saying, you know, a nigga that ain't realer than his jury, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? As fake as his jury or something like that, man. I don't understand it, man. You know what I'm saying? So he obviously got a vendetta against this man Chains. You know what I'm saying? Now, at the end of the day, Main Music, you know what I mean? You don't have to, but you know what I'm saying? We gonna get into what you gotta do to set this straight later on. You know what I'm saying? Now, as for them couple of tracks that I was talking about, you know what I'm saying? I want to say the Voodoo, and you know I want to say the Chopstick song, cause everybody like the Chopstick song. You know what I'm saying? Me, I wasn't actually feeling the Chopstick song. You know what I'm saying? I liked the cadences, but you know what I'm saying, in the wordplay, but you know what I'm saying, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, my type of song. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the Voodoo song, you know what I mean, it took me a couple times to listen to it, and I think this one of them songs is gonna have to grow on me. Other than that, the whole album is foul. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like them songs that I pointed out are bad songs. They just won't, you know what I mean, my type of songs and catchy to me. You know what I mean? But usually the way I review a project is if you got up to 15 tracks, or if you got up to 18 or 17 tracks, if you could at least get, you know what I mean, to like at least 11, you got a solid album to me. You know what I'm saying? And this one of the ones that's for sure solid. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when we look at Fredo albums, we looking for versatility. We looking up how he gonna change up his voice, how he gonna change up the cadences, what type of hooks, and what type of bars he been putting together. But lately he been up on other podcasts, and you know what I'm saying, he been going in and, you know, standing on business, man. You know how that go. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it was about Main Music, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, he just don't understand how he bring, you know what I'm saying, the dead and things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he around here wearing, you know what I'm saying, you know, NBA chain, NBA Youngboy chain, and a lot of people kept talking about this and that, and people saying that the cameraman, that was his chain, and now we know that it was his chain. You see what I'm saying? But that's why I mentioned, even if it wasn't Main Music chain, I mean, just it being around his neck is putting out a broad statement, man. You know what I'm saying? So now we know that, you know what I'm saying, this is, you know what I mean, the director's chain or whatever the case may be. And you, like I said, it's still good to know that he linked in some way, somehow. You know what I'm saying? Something big gonna come out of these videos. Because we see him putting in work, you know, as far as Main Music and stuff like that, and we see where things going. Now, Fredo Bang, with the release of the Big Bang Theory, you see what I'm saying? You gotta understand. You know what I mean? He putting light up on Main Music in his own little way, I feel. because you got an album, you know what I'm saying, released already. You see what I'm saying? And you talking about his chain and having a paper clip and all of that. Yeah, you may be accurate, but at the end of the day, it's still, bringing like the main music at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I ain't got no problem with that because in everybody own way, they should help each other. You know what I'm saying? Whether, it's in a way that you wouldn't expect or in a way that you would expect. So with main music putting the foot on the pedal and he's sitting up there doing all his music and focusing on that, what I mean, he do answer back. He do say little thing. He got the napkin challenge that he started. Basically, you find your homeboy, you find anybody that you love or either you don't love. You know what I'm saying? If you're sweating, you wipe them with a napkin. If it's black or dirt come up there, boy, you're nasty. You see what I'm saying? That's what Mises said. You see what I'm saying? So he started the napkin challenge, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's dirty. You know what I'm saying? And get what? You know what I'm saying? You're less fortunate. That's what I wanted to add to the situation. But you know what I'm saying? It's crazy that he made this up because a lot of niggas do need this, you know what I'm saying? Because, Fredo said that main music just looks like he musty. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, if he feel like he's a musty man, then, you know what I'm saying, it's only right for main music as, him being accused of being musty man, that he start the napkin challenge now. You see what I'm saying? And maybe he gonna run up on Fredo and wipe his face when he's sweating to see if his dirt come up on the napkin. But anyway, you know what I'm saying, to get right back into what the real is the simple fact that, you know what I'm saying, we dealing with somebody that he putting out an album, you know what I'm saying, the Big Bang Theory, you know what I'm saying, Fredo. You know what I'm saying? And we dealing with main music that's also putting the foot up on the gas. So they putting BR ahead. You know what I mean? They putting BR at a certain level of, competitor, you know what I mean, type feel. You know what I'm saying? They are competitors, you know what I'm saying? But not to say that they both competing. You see what I'm saying? And it's a difference because, with Fredo, I mean, he gonna say what he gonna say and he gonna stand on what he gonna stand on. You know what I mean? And he always gonna say something about main music. Main music gonna always say something about Fredo, just like he mentioned Fredo out of nowhere. So at the end of the day, man, if it's smoke, it's smoke. It ain't gonna never be settled. We already know. But all of this controversy is good for Fredo Bang album. Now we don't know that's why he going up on podcasts, speaking up on main music so freely, and we don't know why it's that. But you really can't say that when main music said something about him, out of nowhere, a couple days ago. So it's like you gotta look at it how it go. So it's like this, man. We gonna see what come out of this. Like I said, we got Tech. You know what I'm saying? He got his new track out, and like I said, he going at what I mean, main music. So it's like we can only look at it like this. Main music can only overcome this by getting a machine behind him as well. And I think CMG, you know what I'm saying, Empire, or any of those labels that's looking at main music should be the ones that scoop him up. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's somewhere on the East Coast, you know what I'm saying? You got to understand, Warren G had to go to the East Coast to blow up. You know what I'm saying? Think about that for a second.